Welcome to our AI Meets Drayage event. So we have our hosts, Mike and Corey. We did not glow up these photos. These are the real deal. And then just for the intro, we've got, so the agenda, we're doing our intros. We're going to share our vision for AI, what AI can do today. Like why we were building AI in our platform, just the vision of why we were putting it in there, what we can do with AI today, and then what's next for the future of AI. Go ahead and before we kick things off, I wanted to do a few polls just to see where everyone's at with AI. So for the first one, just how often are y'all using AI in your day-to-day right now? This is like personal life, work life, whatever. Just in general, how are we using AI? I'll give us like 30 seconds to get this answered. Wow, it looks like it's really a mix. It's like split. It's like split. So some are using it multiple times per day, some aren't using it at all. So that's great. So that's why we're here. So we're trying to show you how we can use AI as part of your drayage operations. And then for the next one we've got is, sorry, just give me 1 second. What are we most excited about for this webinar? What are we wanting to learn? Do we want to learn how we can use AI for drayage today, how we'll be using it in the future, or if we're just here to kind of absorb, watch what's going on, or if we were here for Mike's dog? I don't know. I didn't add that as an option. Oops, I forgot to relaunch it. My bad. Oh, I know why. I'm so sorry. Okay, stop sharing this. Then I go back and then I relaunch this one. Okay, here we go. Okay, so more are excited to see how we can use it today, but then also interested to see how we're going to use it in the future. Okay, sounds good. Then let's go ahead and kick things off.
Cool. I'll take over. Thanks, Madeline. It's good to see everybody. Really excited to be doing this. If you haven't met me, don't know me, my name is Mike Mecca. I see a lot of familiar names in the chat. Obviously, I'm the founder and CEO of PortPro. Corey Abbott's also on the call. He's our chief growth officer. He also really is one of the key drivers in AI, one of the big catalysts for AI inside of PortPro. So really excited to have him on the webinar as well. Again, agenda, Madeline just touched on really brief. We're going to go through vision of AI. We're going to go through what PortPro can do today, and then we're going to talk about roadmap, what's next, timing, and really trying to get us all aligned as a customer base and as an organization to what you can expect from PortPro in the months, why we're doing these things. And I think it all come full circle, a lot of the reasoning and logic here. So just how we got here, obviously, business started back end of 19, built out core TMS, built out the visibility portion of the TMS with container tracking, things like that, built out automations into the TMS. So, rate automations, document automations, whatever those things may be. Then we built out integrated communication, and we built out an API, integrated communication, meaning embedded email notifications, all of those types of things. Then we went out and built EDI, API integrations. And we have what I would consider today, I think about it like this. I think about TMS 1.0 being a spreadsheet, TMS 2.0 being Profit Tools, Trinium, there's my dog, Profit Tools, Trinium, and PortPro today. I would put PortPro today firmly now in the TMS 2.0 basket. What you see here, maybe the best 2.0, but a 2.0 nonetheless. And the next evolution of what PortPro will be, I would consider TMS 3.0. And I think that's a AI native TMS where AI lives within every part of the system and every configuration, every nook and cranny that you're operating in your system today. So how is AI going to underwrite and underlie inside of PortPro? We have four main theses that we're going to go over. A lot of it all comes around agentic AI. So can you just give me a quick hand raise if you are familiar with what AI agents are or what agentic AI more generally is? Give me a hands up. We have officially passed 100 attendees. Keep your hands up, please. Officially passed 100 participants, which is awesome for a webinar on a Wednesday afternoon. So great job, Madeline and team. So we got up to about 12 hands capped. So about 10% of the 100 people in the chat right now know what agentic AI is. So I think the first thing that we should start off with is defining what AI agents are, what agentic AI is, so everybody understands and is on the same page here. Think of traditional software development like we build code that has logic and reason, and you have settings and configurations. What AI agents are these, think about them like they're these autonomous and dynamic workers that you can create using, in our instance, using natural language. Let's say I want to do something specifically, being able to type into something that looks like a GPT prompt, something like that, and really define, hey, I want you to perform this action, take this step, do this function. And what that ultimately creates is this autonomous worker within a TMS within PortPro that really allows us to do a ton of amazing things. Think about it like, hey, I have a dispatcher. My dispatcher can essentially create 5 digital assistants, digital AI assistants, we will consider them as, that can help them perform their job function more succinctly and more automated in a more automated and dynamic way. Corey, you have your hand up? Oh, that's because you know what AI agents are. Got it. Come on, Corey. So understanding AI agents, we can think about them as digital assistants that we can use natural language to customize and configure to our specific workflows. I would define it for the purpose of today as that. So how is AI going to be incorporated into PortPro? We're going to have agents that operate natively inside of the system. Not on the side of the system, but inside the system. I like that. They're going to be trained either by us or by you to perform specific job functions and assist in the people doing that work. So a dispatcher assigning drivers, a billing clerk checking required documents and validating that they're okay and invoicing out, a payable clerk reviewing driver pay, making sure amounts are correct, communicating with drivers. All of those things can be handled in part with agentic AI and AI agents. The reason that we're going to be able to do this so effectively is because all the data lives inside of the TMS. The TMS is the core source of the data that enables and empowers all of these agentic workers that we're building to perform optimally, to perform at their highest peak. We don't have to worry about plugging disparate systems together and having gaps and holes. Because everything is native inside of PortPro, it's really going to enable us to move extremely quickly. Today, we're not going to necessarily need to introduce new things within PortPro. So one of the things as we scale TMS, what happens is more and more companies, more requests, more different ways of working, and that becomes a challenge as you continue to scale and acquire more and more trucking companies that use the same system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enable our customers, we're going to enable you to create your own infrastructure, create your own workflows by leveraging these AI agents without having to come to us for process change or code changes, customizations. You're going to be able to handle a lot of this yourselves or with our assistants, our CS team's assistants. So to take a breath here, built core TMS 2.0, moving to TMS 3 actively. TMS 3 will live with, our focus is building configurability and agentic AI within the TMS, which will allow you to configure and customize the system to your own workflows in a super scalable, in a very controllable way for each company on the call. I'm gonna pause there. Does anybody have any questions thus far? Nope.
No.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we'll get into phase 1 of, and George, I think that we're gonna go through some of this on this year. I think you're gonna be really excited when you see it. So first thing we're going to go through is what our phase one of our implementation of AI agents are. And those are going to be our pre-built agents. We have 2 pre-built agents currently live inside of PortPro. We have our, and raise your hand if you're using any of these yet. We have our Google and Excel sheet agent, which integrates data inside of PortPro TMS into your specific spreadsheet, and you can customize and configure which fields are mapped between those two parties automatically just by messaging in. So raise your hand really quick if you're using the Google Sheet and Excel agent just yet. Awesome. We see usage increasing materially every day. Really excited to see everyone beginning to rock and roll there. Next, we have an empty container monitor agent that we've deployed. So what that does is that allows you to receive emails and mark them as empty. So the agent will read the specific emails. You'll be able to see which emails are marked as empty, ready to return automatically, and the system will flag those for you and allow you to take action to mark those containers as empty. And Corey's going to be demoing this in just a quick second here. Pre-built agent 3 that's going to be coming out, or 4, excuse me, because we have Google Excel, we have empty return, and we're going to have this document validator that's going to be coming out sometime in the next week or two, is actually going to review every document that drivers submit into the system. So from the mobile app, there will be an AI agent that lives and will prevent drivers from uploading in fuzzy documents, uploading in bad documents, uploading in documents that don't match accordingly to the load that they're currently working on. So we think that's going to drastically reduce all the bad documents that get submitted into the TMS. It's also going to reduce the amount of checking that we need to do, because we can be assured if a load matches our document requirements that we're going to be good to go, because the document validator validated it was the right document type and it was a clear image that's ready to be invoiced, all being done directly in the mobile app. So you don't even need to do anything. It'll just prevent bad documents getting submitted to your system. And then last but not least, custom reports and dashboards, amongst many others. We anticipate rolling out about 20 to 30 pre-built AI agents over the next 2 months. Custom reports and dashboards are going to be natural language, so typing to create tabular reports and dashboard reports. So we just rolled out custom reporting tool and dashboards. It's going to be a layer on top of that, so you don't need to ask us to add an additional field or add logic into any of those reports. Now you're going to be able to use natural language to actually build your own reports, save them, add your own logic in, and send those out to yourselves, to your customers, email yourselves, dashboards, all that stuff we're super excited about. So Corey, you ready to show people a couple agents? Just got to find that gosh dang mute button.
Sorry, there we go. Can you guys see my screen now?
Stop sharing.
What's that?
Yep, we see it.
Oh, yeah, you stopped? Okay.
You're good.
There we go. Let me make sure there we go. All right. Awesome. As Mike just mentioned, gonna go through a couple of these Google Sheets or agents that we have today. Gonna start off with Google Sheets, and the same process applies to Excel Sheets. We'll look at marking containers empty to return out of the email, as well as, again, talk about a couple of things to come, and then look at the chat, and then talk about the future. So I'm gonna jump in here and go through what Google Sheet looks like. I think if I could challenge everyone for one thing on this, it would be to try to think of Google Sheet. Sure, it's a Google Sheet or an Excel, but the same process applies to any endpoint, right? Whether it's a customer's website, a port site, any endpoint, AI can work in the way that you're about to see today, and that's a lot of what we are building and working on to build and deliver. Feel free to ask any questions as we go, but then challenge your thinking of, hey, of course it's a Google Sheet, but what does this mean as far as hooking into WMSs, whatever else that may be. I'm just going to show how easy and it is. So I'm going to actually show this over here. We have this Google Sheet here that we are going to map. So it just has these 7 columns in it. So we're going to work through and work through the mapping of that. So here is the Google Sheet. We're going to connect our Google account. I'm going to connect my PortPro account. So my Google account's been connected, and then I'm simply going to grab the sheet that I want to map. So I'm going to map the demo sheet we just looked at. So now you can see this sheet is here and ready to set up mappings. When I click, this is what's going to use the LLM, or language model, is now going out. The AI is going out. It is reading the column headers in that sheet, and it is coming back and suggesting to you what field in PortPro you should map those to. So for example, load number is pretty simple. Container size is simple. SSL, it doesn't know what it is. Now I'm going to just via chat manage the integration to that sheet and how I'm going to integrate. So I'm going to tell it map SSL to container owner. I'm going to just go ahead and set that mapping. We've updated it. I could change some mappings, but I'm going to choose number 2, and I'm just going to leave delivery appointment blank. So now my mapping has been confirmed, and now I can tell it what my primary key is, meaning what data is the rest of the data updating off of? What is my primary key, data key? So if we're thinking of this as a lot of times your customers as a shipper have a Google Sheet out there, they put container number on it, require you to keep it updated by a container number. Generally, that's the number we're using in the industry as our primary key to share information with each other. So we're going to just flip over and show how that works. I'm going to change my screen a bit to full screen here. 1 second. You guys can see my whole screen now? Perfect. So we'll see, this is the spreadsheet we mapped. Here's the container number. I'm going to put it into the spreadsheet. And then any information that we update, well, sorry, wrong screen there. There we go. Any information that we update will real-time flow across. So you'll see that update came across instantly. ABC 1, 2, 3. Any updates that are made to it come across. Removals that occur, I can update. Container size flows through my locations, etc. map and flow through accordingly, and then removed. We also have what we call the primary key listener. So assuming that the load was created in PortPro before you integrated your Google Sheet, when this container number is put into the sheet and it already exists in PortPro, every about 10 minutes, it comes through and pulls all data and syncs the sheet in full. So now, again, thinking specifically from the use case of a BCO requiring you to keep a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet updated, or maybe you're keeping one updated for internal purposes with load info, you now can fully set up that automation simply out of the chat. I've done it a lot of times, so I know I'm pretty fast, but it really can be done in less than 2 minutes, and you have a full AI integration set up. And again, think about what that means I'm going to swap that back. Think about what that means. It could be billing, portal, whatever it is, right? You guys will have the power now to real time grab an agent, chat with it, set the mappings up as you want, deploy, and off you go. All right. If there's no questions there, I'm gonna show some other agents. All right, we've looked at that. I'm gonna show the empty return agent now as well. So what this agent is for, this is to, I'm sure everyone here is getting emails in, maybe they're emails with just words, spreadsheets, attachments, PDFs. coming into a mailbox that you have designated for it, or a shared mailbox, or into your CS team? Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm sorry. Just a couple before we move to empty return. Just a question in the chat. Somebody asked about multiple tabs and about sheet ownership. So
Yeah.
for multiple tabs, and I got it here. For multiple tabs, yes, you can do multiple tabs. So within the sheet at the bottom, you can map a single tab, or you can map multiple tabs within a workbook.
I'll actually show you can real time add it tab, how that'll flow right in.
And then the sheet for Google Sheet or for Excel, the sheet just needs to be shared with you. If the sheet is shared with whatever email is connected to that sheet, you can handle these integrations here.
Yep. And I added a tab there. You could see it automatically picks it up and reads it. There's nothing in that tab, so I'm not, but you would then just set up the mappings for that tab as well. Sorry, I wasn't reading any other questions. Mike,
if you have two separate spreadsheets that are synced to PortPro and there's duplicate container numbers, it'll update any spreadsheet that has that container number on it. So that shouldn't be a problem. If you have two spreadsheets with the same container number on it, it'll treat both of those spreadsheets independently. So I know I actually asked Madeline to spin up a quick survey here just to see everyone in the chat here, how many are using a spreadsheet, updating a spreadsheet for a customer actively on a day-by-day basis right now. So again, update the survey here. Like, how many of us are required to update spreadsheets, not just send emails with spreadsheets. I'm talking about customer gives us a spreadsheet. We have to update it throughout the course of the day with information.
Looks like about 75% are updating a spreadsheet every day.
Awesome. Yeah, I've still got more coming in. Yeah, 56 people voted, about 50. We got 116 participants and about 60. Yeah, so about between 70 to 75% are updating a spreadsheet every day. Awesome. So there's another. Yeah, awesome. So we just have a couple more questions. Sorry, there's a lot of questions coming in, trying to make sense of.
Grab them up.
We have a question around Google Sheets going into PortPro. I'm just going to share this result so everyone can see here. We have one going about spreadsheets going into PortPro. So can we take a spreadsheet and update it into PortPro? The answer is yes, we can, but we are not doing that yet. Consuming data in from a spreadsheet is going to require some better guardrails, so we make sure that data integrity stays solid. So it's something that's on our roadmap, but it's not something that we're going to ingest through a spreadsheet format just yet. We're going to use what Corey's going to show next, this control tower interface, to begin consuming data in a more controlled way to start. But that's something that's 100% on the roadmap.
I got a couple of these. Yes, if you can if you're getting a sheet from the customer, we assume it's coming from the customer, right? As long as they have you as an editor on that sheet, you can hook into it and update it from PortPro. And we're assuming you're an editor if they're making you update it, right? So that's the general use case we have here. And if there's two spreadsheets, duplicate container, I think we answered that one. So yes.
Cool.
And a couple of these are about empties, which we'll get into here.
Perfect. Smartsheet is not, someone asked about Smartsheet. Smartsheet is not yet supported, but I think we'll get into that in a second about the ability for this to apply. As Corey said, look at this. This isn't just, it's starting off with Google Sheets and Excel. It's an agent for Google Sheets and Excel, but it could be, and it will be, any endpoint in the not so near future. So Smartsheets could be an endpoint in the near future that agents work between PortPro and it. So just as an idea, this isn't just Excel and Google Sheets. This theoretically is any endpoint. Cool. All right, let's move on to empty returns.
I am going to show that the primary key sync happened, so you can see that in the time while we were doing that, right, I put that container number in and it came and picked up all the info. So again, just showing full working end to end there. All right, so let's go over and check out empties. So as I said, this is what this is for is your customers are, as a shipper, your customers are emailing. That can be an email, it can be an attachment, it can be a spreadsheet attachment saying, hey, these are the empty containers. They're marked empty, ready to come grab them. So we have this empty return agent, and we're going to go through how that works and what it does. So simply, I grab the empty return agent. I'm going to add my mailbox. So I'm going to just add Corey at PortPro .io. The question was asked earlier while I'm hooking this up, do you have to have EEI to do this? And the answer is no, you do not. These email AI agents are not required for you to own EEI to do. All right, so I've connected my email there. Let's pop over and take a peek at this. I'm just going to send, just so we can go ahead and see while we're waiting. I'm going to send, this is a simple, we'll talk about what it can do. This is a simple email saying, hey, this container is empty. I'm going to send that over to myself. I sent that to my personal or over to my PortPro email. All right. So when you're in the empty, within the empty agent, whoops, you'll have this control tower. When you're in the control tower, you'll have these settings that you can apply to your empty agent. You can choose to automatically respond to the customer when you approve that empty. So, a template response back saying, hey, we received and marked empty, you're good to go, notified. You can notify others internally when that happens. You can set a cutoff time meaning that if your business process is if you send me an empty return notification after 3 p.m. today, it gets marked empty as tomorrow. So you can choose what your cutoff time is as well, and then you can choose to see and approve them or not. Obviously, we want to see to approve them. So I grabbed this container and we'll go take a peek at it first. So that email came through. It was read by our AI. And you can see that. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. So this container here is dropped and loaded at Target. We're going to come back into our AI. And again, you can choose not to have this approved, but for the purposes of this, I will approve. It read that, sent it over, and now this container has been marked as empty. We have put the empty data as today and the ready to return date and time at 3:33 when that came through. So again, it can be the Amazon Yard report that you have that's just scat code with a fuzzy container number that you have to match, right? We've trained that. LG's in a screenshot of a table in, we're working on training that. So all of these things are trained and capable of to answer the questions that are coming in of doing. So now if you have an email box that's out there, you simply hook it up. You can create a new mailbox called empties at corey.whatever.com and just have everyone's create email rules to send into there. But you have automations ready to go from there. And I'll pause and we'll answer some of these questions and then talk about what's coming next on the chat. Swap windows here while we're doing that.
Anybody have any questions around the empty return marking containers, empty agent? Oh, there's one question here. I get a PDF with containers that are empty. Would it be able to read that as well? It should be able to read anything. So PDF, Excel, natural text. If you have something that's not being read properly, we have 2 people that we've dedicated to AI adoption with our customer base. On top of your CSM, you're going to hear from Doug and Daniel, who are going to reach out to you about enabling AI in your business. They've met with, I think, about 15% of our customer base so far, and they're trying to get weekly meetings on with everybody as a service from PortPro to help you guys enable AI in the operation. So if there's a document that is a funky document or is a picture of a document, it might need a little extra love, you'll work with them to make sure that all that's configured properly.
Yeah. And then we have a question, the empty. So very similar to empty, things that are similar. There's a load create, right? So grabbing all sorts of different loads and creating loads. That's coming soon, and we'll get into that here shortly. And then also pick up tickets, pick up numbers are one of those as well. So all of the stuff coming into email, right, is the same process that we could do. And yes, you can hook up a shared box as well, Robin.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. You want to go into Corey? You want to go into?
I was going to do it just a quick bit of chat and then
Yeah.
hand it back over to the future. I want to make sure we leave some time at the end. I'll be snappy.
Yes.
It's hard to talk about chat without too much of the future, but part of what you get also in our AI platform is access to our chat capabilities. We're going to talk a bit more about what the roadmap of chat is and how that turns into true operator agentic AI and where we're at right now in that process. But think of chat right now, right? We are querying, we are getting answers, and this weekend we are releasing what you're seeing here, the ability to build reporting capabilities, email them to yourselves, saved conversations and threads. And then the next step of that is being able to save views and reports. So building your own custom reports fully out of the chat, combining your data, saving those views, and then being able to execute those on a schedule, email to yourself, results to yourself, and then lastly, being able to create your own agentic workforce out of the chat. So we'll have an update capability. So soon in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're releasing the ability to say, hey, update these 40 containers as empty straight out of the chat, or update this driver permission in mass, whatever that may be. And then lastly, creating a workforce, an agentic workforce. So, hey, every day go build this customer for these 4 conditions met and do it at 10 a.m. So creating your workforce. The chat is the driver of all that. So just going to look at a couple of things here. So you can see you have the ability to start a new chat, house multiple conversations. We'll ask an LFD next week, do I have? While this is gone, we'll talk a bit about what it can do and how to use it. Asking a question like how many containers with last free day next week do I have? That's not that productive, right? But if I can ask you how many with the last free day of next week, how many of those do not have a pickup appointment? And then ask it, how many exports do I have that aren't loaded? And then save that and say, hey, every time I ask you, what's my next week look like? Bring back this data set, then that becomes useful to me. And then again, the next step of that is being able to email yourself the results, set that on a schedule. So every day I wake up, I want to have received this email at 5 a.m. that tells me how many containers, exports I have aren't loaded that need today, and how many last free day today with no pickup appointment are there, and how many drivers that didn't work yesterday aren't working today. Whatever that is, right? At your fingertips, custom to you and brought forward. Real quick, I'll just show this, but you also have the ability to do analysis. So think of it as you can join data from multiple places where you couldn't in PortPro, but then also have AI there to do analysis for you. You can ask it, why is my volume down? What impact would the tariffs have to my top 5 customers? What's their margin? All of these are items you can use and work through. So this one I said, hey, build a graph that shows volume over the last few days. Built a graph. It didn't count today, of course. And then I can actually just straight out of here, for example, email that to myself, and you'll actually get this sent right to yourself. So any sort of potentially weird customer requests that include truck numbers and other things, all of that can be pulled out, handled. You have the ability to customize it directly out of there. And I'll just show what this comes through as, but here's the email that just came instantly to me, right? There's my graph. And again, this is obviously a simple graph, but think putting that out largely what that means to you capability wise. So that's what the chat is and where it's going. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mike. Actually, I'll answer this question. Can the chat take actions as well? We're about to get into that. But the chat right now will not, but in 2 or in 3 weeks, you'll be able to update out of the chat. So you could say, hey, go bill these 40 orders. Go again, mark these 50 containers as empty. So you'll be able to have that capability in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Corey. Yeah, and I think to add to that really quick, if you use ChatGPT or Claude from Anthropic or any of these really big chat large language model interfaces today, like LLMs, large language models, they're on the underlying AI stack for agents, a lot of agents, it's not perfect, right? There's ways of causing it to hallucinate, give you answers that don't make sense. Prompting improperly doesn't result in the best answers and experience. But once you understand and learn how to prompt, once you understand how to position, and as we continue to add guardrails into the chat, more the value of it's going to increase more and more as we progress along. We're like in the early stages of this chat right now. There's just so much opportunity and potential with it. So Corey just showed you what's getting released this weekend, which is now you can add threads to your chat. You can download CSVs and send emails from chat. In June, we have scheduled to release, pushing really hard to get it released. A lot of efforts going into it. Custom reporting from chat. So what does that mean? That means like getting rid of custom reporting, load master report, dashboards, being able to create any table-based and dashboard-based report that you would like inside of PortPro by using chat, saving it so that you could see it, being able to send it out on jobs like you already are doing inside of like custom report or load master report today, but infinitely customizable just with natural language. So just by speaking English. The other part that we're trying to get released this month, we're pushing really hard for, is the update function. So Corey mentioned it 3 times. I'll just say it a fourth. Think about update like, I want to approve all of the driver pay for this location that meets this criteria. Or I want to create these loads, or I want to upload these documents in, or I want to email these. Anything that you can do today within clicking PortPro, you'll be able to perform those functions, those actions, batch updating routing templates, batch updating notes, batch updating this, taking this action, sending these emails. Anything that you could do in PortPro today, by clicking a button, you'll be able to take an update action within the chat interface. We're going to begin rolling out those update options in June. So you're going to have options of updating certain parts of PortPro by the end of this month from the chat. Hopefully a lot of options. We're trying to get as many out to you guys to update as quickly as possible.
And then somebody asked about the underlying AI model. We use a lot of models. So some are better at document recognition, some are better at data analyzing, graph building, some are just straight chat. So part of our secret sauce is being able to pass around across multiple models as needed to get the best performance. And
Yeah.
that's ever changing, right? Every day something changes and gets better on these models or new ones come out. So that's something we continually monitor to work through.
And then we have our RAG layer on top. So whether it's GPT 4.1 mini, whether it's Claude 4, whether it's Llama, whatever it might be, we have our RAG layer on top, our Drayage RAG layer on top to funnel that context in so the results are better. Just like questions are coming in here. And we're going to get into future. Hang on, guys. I know we've covered a lot in 45 minutes. Still have over 100 attendees, 105 attendees, 107 attendees. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I'm answering these questions.
Yeah, I got there will be, you only need one user for one spreadsheet with multiple tabs. I think that question came twice.
The email, the update, the chat function. So just to be clear on the chat functions, this weekend for chat, because everyone has chat now in their system. Everyone on this call has chat. You might need to get it enabled by just scheduling a call with us so we can take you through it the first time. But everybody in this call has the ability to access chat now. This weekend, we're introducing threads so you can have multiple chat conversations. We're introducing manually triggering emails, and we're introducing downloading CSVs. Over the next 3 weeks, for the rest of June, we're introducing automating, sending emails from chat, reporting automation, sending on jobs, and the update function all happening from chat. So just to be clear there.
I think there's a question about accuracy of reading empty returns emails is maybe what this is.
Do you think?
It's super accurate is what I'll say. And then look, guys, it's free right now, right? If you're for everybody on this call, it's free. So contact us. We'll hook that email agent up for you. It's free. Run stuff through it, and you'll get to see the results. Yeah, reach out and we'll find out real time. We'll do it together and show you through it.
Awesome. So let's continue on. We have 13 minutes left here, and then we'll get to the remainder of the questions here. So again, we're going to do phase one was pre-built AI agents. Think about it like we have the spreadsheets, we have the empty return, we're going to have the document validator coming out, we're going to have customer reports in chat coming out. All those are going to be heavy hitters. They're going to be coming out week over week over the course of the coming months. What can you expect from PortPro in the future? Why are we spending 80 to 90% of our energy on this right now? We just think that this is the fundamental future of software. We think this is going to be the future of TMS. And we think that if we're not focused on this as our primary function right now, because it's happening now, guys, it's not happening in a year, it's not happening in 2 years, it's happening right now. We're going to be doing a disservice to you. The fact that we're going to integrate this in, you're going to be enabled by it is going to separate you from companies that aren't leveraging it. And how well you're leveraging it is going to separate you. It's a game changer. No hyperbole, no buzzword bullshit. What's the future of AI and Drayage in PortPro? So step one was we're building agents. Step two is we're going to give you the ability to create your own agents using the chat. So think about it like you're going to be able to update chat, tell it what you wanted to do, and then you're going to be able to save those chats. You're going to be able to save them as agents or operators, and you're going to have them run in the background of the system for you. So actions that I as a dispatcher might be taking, I'll be able to build my own agents the way that I want them to within PortPro and ask them to go do things at a certain time interval or when a certain action happens, and they're going to operate for me automatically in the background. So we're going to have our pre-built high value target ones that are more generic. Then you're going to be able to go out and build all of your own agents within PortPro, save them, and allow them to run. The first version of that you're going to see this month by being able to begin updating within PortPro. So it's not going to be an autonomous agent, but you're going to be able to chat with an agent, a generic agent, to take action in the system. The next step of that is we'll be saving those and having those run automatically. The step beyond that is going to be actually building workflows. So that means we're going to be taking agents and we're going to be putting them in specific workflow order so that you can automate an entire workflow and you can customize it. So let's say I want to create a load by consuming this email. Then I want to send an email notification trigger out. I want to send a report out. I want to take this action. I want to call somebody. I want to notify my driver. Whatever workflow, however you want to do it within the PortPro framework, you're going to be able to do it by building your own agents through natural language. So typing in what you want an agent to do, update, read, write, whatever it is, putting them in an order. So this happens, then this happens, and telling it when you want it to happen. And you don't need to ask us to create code or customize anything for you. You're going to be able to, hey, I want this field required on a load. Hey, I want to use this routing template when this load is created for this customer. I want to require these documents when this happens. I want to add this charge. I want to do this. I want to do that. You're going to be able to manage all of it by creating your own agents and then stringing them together into workflows. And this is what a interface could and will look like. I'm gonna stop there for a second. Does anybody have any thoughts, ideas, questions about this? Put it in the chat, raise your hand. Everyone's mind is just blown. So Julian, chat update will be available in June. Saving agents and building workflows it's going to be July, August. This is all happening in the near term here.
Yeah.
But
And
it's going to be released in June, defined as document validator. We're going to have an ETA updater. So you're running behind ETAs. Then we're going to have a DO entry agent. We're going to have chat reports, so custom reports. And we're going to have update, so being able to update information inside of PortPro. All right. So this is what's happening. Yeah, that's right. You can essentially mimic a typical dispatcher's day-to-day. Phase 3 is going to be configuring PortPro to your specific. So phase 1, pre-built agents. Phase 2, allowing you to build your own agents and allowing you to create your own workflows. Phase 3 is going to be configuring PortPro to your specific process from a settings perspective. So just as an example here, today inside of PortPro, if you're setting up like an email notification, this is how that interface looks today. You put in pre-built rules. The rules are finite. If you need a new rule, you need to ask us. It's a big process. Trust me, I don't like it as much as you don't like it. Like I want to do everything for everybody. Promise. After, what we're doing now is we're going to allow you to use across all settings in the system. We're going to allow you to use natural language to configure them. So essentially the natural language, the chat is going to allow you to write your own quasi code that we're going to save, and we're going to execute that code so you can build your own rules within the infrastructure of PortPro. So any setting configuration that exists in PortPro, you're going to be able to infinitely customize those settings, configurations, filters, etc. by using English and generating kind of your own custom code that you can execute. Does this make sense? Raise your hand if it makes sense. All right. Thanks, everyone. A lot of hands up. The fourth phase of AI for PortPro is going to be using AI to connect into all of the different systems that you use natively. So today we have an API. The API can be integrated into other systems. We're in the process of putting that API, leveraging AI behind it, so that hopefully by the end of this year, you're going to be able to do integrations on your own just by using natural language. It's going to be hard to do in that short time frame, but we're really pushing to have it done. So you're going to be able to use natural language, type out what you're looking to integrate, take API document from IMC, API document from this customer, from CH Robinson, whatever it is, put it into a chat and customize and configure your own integrations the same way that we did an integration with Google Sheets and Excel. You'll be able to do that by just dumping API documentation, API keys into a chat, and having PortPro look at both API docs, ours and that third-party integrators, and you use natural language to handle how you want the integration to be handled. Yeah, so that's the gist. I'm going to stop babbling on for a few minutes to answer some further questions. I hope that you guys see the direction that we're going in. I think we've had a lot of support from customers in going this direction. If it's new and scary to you, totally understand. I would ask you to trust us that this is going to be the best decision for your tech within your business over the next year and beyond. And just know that we hear you from our CS team, and that you have a small army of people that are working on your behalf to try to make your business run better. We believe that our best way of doing that for you is by implementing this strategy as our core focus for the coming year. So pre-built agents, create your own workflows, configure and handle your own settings using natural language to set up the system the way you want, and then allow you to do integrations just by using natural language. And this doesn't include dispatch optimization, which is another AI initiative that we'll save for another day. Does anybody have any questions? Please dump the questions in the Q&A. Wish we could enable the mics. Donnie did Drayage, the best name in Drayage. I have one ask, and then Corey, I'll let you, if you have anything else to add. I have one ask from everybody. I ask because I think it's really important for your business. I ask you to take AI very seriously in the near term, in the midterm, and the long term. I ask that you work with our team and give us feedback so that we can make AI work the best that it can for you. And I ask that you, with Doug and Daniel, we're offering to schedule a standing weekly meeting with Doug and Daniel to help them integrate AI into your operation on top of your CSM, on top of Corey's team. Like, we want to be working with you guys as closely as you'd like. Some companies have taken us up on that we've met with 10 times already. So I'd ask, if that's not you yet, I challenge you to schedule time with us, and let's get an AI project plan and implementation strategy out and ready to roll. And it's going to be a process. I want to make sure I'm expressing that very clearly. Implementing AI is going to be a process, and it's going to be a process that we want to work with you closely on, because we think it's going to provide you with a ton of value.
Yep. And same thing for me, guys. Reach out, contact us. Let's get some of these things hooked up. Let's work them. Let's talk about some scenarios you have that you might be nervous about. Let's look at them. Let's see what they are. Again, it's free right now. There's no better time to see how it works. And as some folks begin to use it, we don't want to get behind. So again, it's going to change how we operate from a headcount, efficiency, accuracy perspective extremely quick. So reach out. Happy to spend the time and get you guys on a journey and moving forward. So that's it.
We really want everyone's feedback on the AI agents. We want to build as many pre-built AI agents and work with you in building your own AI agents to handle every single workaround and workflow that you could possibly think of. We're going to target the highest value ones for pre-built first. For your own built ones, we're going to help you create whatever the heck you want within the system. Only ask is just the engagement piece. Any other questions? Anybody that asked any questions, more technical questions, there's 35 extra more technical questions here. We're going to have Doug and Daniel follow up with everybody that questions we didn't get to, that were maybe a little bit more granular questions. So we'll schedule time with you, and we'll run through any questions that you have and get alignment on any questions that you have. Last question. Listen, to make almost 80 attendees for an hour on a webinar on a Wednesday is fantastic. Raise your hand if you think that this is a good idea. Always ask. If you're bought into this, you're like, thank God, like PortPro is working in my interest. I'm excited to work with them on this because awesome. This is great. I just want to again give you my Corey and I on our team, we're working really hard to deliver this for all you guys, spending a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of time away from family, traveling, working together. So just know that we're trying really hard, trying our best to roll out AI for everybody and ensure that it's successful. And we're gonna be moving quick, so just hang with us.